I feel like this is something that I could teach about, and something that I think a lot of high schoolers need to hear. All right. Kind of the phrase of the day is someday syndrome, and that's it's not a real sickness, but it's something that we kind of all go through. It's basically just means procrastination. The definition of procrastination that I'm talking about is failure to do what needs to be done when it needs to be done. And so a lot of times we say, someday I'll clean my room, someday I'll write that paper, someday the Cowboys will go to the playoffs, someday I'll read the Bible, someday I'll pray more, someday I'll spend more time with my parents and siblings. And for us seniors that are going to college soon and juniors that are following soon after, it's really important for us to spend more time with our families during this time. And that's something that we procrastinate, and we want to go hang out with friends every Friday, every weekend. But spend time with your families now, because friends don't last forever and your families do. So once you go to college, you'll miss your family more than your friends, and so just remember that you need to spend time with them now, and that's something that you need to not procrastinate. Basically, the idea of procrastination is like a suicide bomber that's done 17 missions. It doesn't make sense. You keep putting it off. You're like, okay, yeah, I'll do it later. You don't end up doing it. And so the reality is that someday syndrome robs you of life. It's a sneaky, subtle way of saying no to God's will for your life. It's not defiance or intentional disobedience to God, because if it was, then it would be sin. James 4:17 says, if anyone then knows the good they ought to do and doesn't do it, it is sin for them. So there's two questions about how to solve this. The first one is, why do I procrastinate? And the second is, how do I learn to live right now and get every single drop of every moment of life? To answer the why question, why do I procrastinate? There's 5 personality styles that contribute to procrastination. So if you guys would get your phones out to write down, if I say something that's you, write it down, and so we can just keep track.
Okay, write this.
Let me know when you're ready.
Ready.
You guys good? All right, first one. The perfectionist. Doesn't want to start a task until you know it can be done perfectly and the conditions are perfect, which will never happen. Ecclesiastes 11:4 says, whoever watches the wind will not plant. Whoever looks at the clouds will not reap. So whatever you're trying to get done won't happen unless you make it happen. So you might as well start now. So the first one's the perfectionist. The second is the dreamer. Wants life to be easy and pleasant. Not really about the details, more about the big picture. In reality, life involves detail. The outlook is unrealistic because details can't be overlooked. So ask yourself, if you can say yes to this question, then you're a dreamer. Do I daydream about what I want to do but never do them? Like one day I'll buy a boat, or one day again, more than someday. Someday I'll clean my room, and you never end up doing any of it. The third one is a crisis maker. Procrastination equals adventure. They wait for the midnight hour, the day before the paper's due, type it, and they enjoy the pumping adrenaline 24/7. The fourth one is a defiant person. They're a rebel. Procrastination for them is independence. The question is, do I ever think I'm special and don't have to follow the rules everyone else has to follow? Kind of like an adult that won't pay taxes when they're due just to rebel against the government. Like, haha, I told you guys. It's that kind of defiant about them. The fifth one is the overdoer. They have way too much stuff to do. They can't say no. They're too optimistic about what they can accomplish in one day. And the question is, do I commit myself to so many things that I can't follow through with? Sitting in the lesson, these 5 personality styles are found online. Sitting in the lesson, I had my phone out like he asked us to, and I was writing down almost every single one of them. I was like, oh my gosh, yeah. And my parents were looking at me like, that's you. And I was just like, yeah, I know. I was the perfectionist. That's completely me. I won't start a task until I know it's the perfect conditions. I'm with the friends I need to be with that know the answers to the questions and all that kind of stuff. I am the crisis maker for sure. I definitely wait to the midnight hour. Keep saying I'll do it later and I don't ever do it. And then I'm definitely the overdoer. Saying no to fun activities with my friends is impossible. So Brooks will call me and say, hey, you want to go fishing? And I'm typing a paper that's due the next day. I'll go anyway just because I want to fish. I don't prioritize what needs to get done. I'll just do what I want to do and then end up making some kind of crisis and overdoing it. So how many of you guys had one of those things? All right, how many of you had 2? How many with 3? 4?
Females. God.
Nice. Okay. There wasn't any with 5, right? Okay, good. That would be really bad. The motivation fairy won't come by and sprinkle motivation dust on you. It's up to you to find motivation through the Lord. The answer to the second question is, how do I learn to live in the now? There are, I believe, 5 steps. All right. The first one is you must stop excusing procrastination in your life. Will someone pull up Proverbs 22:13?
What is this thing? This is really... Okay, I'm sorry. I'm distracted.
Also, will someone start looking up
I got it.
Proverbs 27:1?
I got that one.
All right, will you read Proverbs 22:13?
Wait, who...
You want me to read it? Or?
Yes, sir.
The sluggard says, "There is a lion outside. I shall be killed in the streets."
Say it one more time.
The sluggard says, "There is a lion outside. I shall be killed in the streets."
Right. The writer of this uses a laughable explanation. There's a lion outside, so therefore if I go out, I'm going to get killed. It's completely unrealistic. Just like he does, we often use laughable excuses also. So like, they're like so, just like, think of all the laughable like things that you said, like, oh, I can't come to my room, I have to empty the dishwasher like you told me to earlier, Mom. Or I have to go, I spilled the drink in my car, I gotta go clean it up. Or like, we say like the craziest things, just like, in the next week, just think about like the excuses that you say, and how like silly they actually are. So stop using excuses. That's the first one. The second one is you must start today. Take action in areas that you've been procrastinating. Just want to have Proverbs 27:1.
Yeah, I got it. Do not boast about tomorrow, for you do not know what a day may bring forth.
Right. All you're guaranteed is this moment right now, so you might as well start today. The Christian culture is about living in the moment. So pick one thing that you've been procrastinating and start it tonight when you get home. A lot of times people think, if I can't do it all, then I won't do anything, which is definitely the wrong thing. You need to just like, there are so many things that I'm sure you guys have been procrastinating in your life. Just pick one of them, just a small one, and just like go get it done tonight. Like, what's up?
Can you like, what do you mean by living in the moment?
So like, take advantage of every moment. Like, don't be like, okay, when there's something that needs to get done, like get it done. Live in the moment and do it. Don't say, I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing and not making use of my time and like say, oh, you'll do it later. Like live in the moment and do what you have to do, like when you have to do it.
Like, don't assume that you'll have tomorrow to do it because you might not.
Exactly. Third one is you must ruthlessly prioritize your life. When am I going to get serious about this? If someone were to watch my life, would they know what really matters to me and what doesn't really matter to me? We tend to rush so much that we violate what's most important to us. You'll have to say no to a lot of stuff that society says a lot. You'll have to say no to a lot of stuff that a lot of society says yes to. Like I said, when friends ask me to like go hang out or I want to go hang out, it's so hard to say no to like those kind of things because you know you're only with your friends for 8 more months and all that kind of stuff. But like the things that need to get done need to get done. Like my college resume and essays, I still need to send in. I've had them done for I don't know how long, and I keep putting off just sending them in. And the deadline's on February 1st. And I'm sure I'm going to get to the very last night and end up sending it in, but. You know what? I'm going to do that tonight. Because that is like the easiest thing I could do, and I've literally been procrastinating it for like 3 months, so I'm going to go home and do that. I'll tweet when it's done so you guys can. So the health expert says it takes 3 hours a day to be healthy. A sleep expert says it takes 8 hours a day to be rested. There are so many different experts on every part of your life that all say that it takes a certain amount of hours for you to be blank. Those hours, I think there was a study, the hours ended up like 36 hours. There's no way that you have 36 hours in one day to do it, to complete all those things, like be rested, be whatever, on time, to be healthy, to be exercise. And so there's like, you have to prioritize what you want to do. You want to be, that's more of an extreme example, but you have to like choose what you want to do because you can't, if you have a lot of things that you procrastinated, you can't do them all in one day. You have to prioritize which is more important. The last, ask yourself what matters. Does prayer matter? Does watching TV matter? Does eating with my family matter? And so just kind of ask yourself those questions to help you prioritize things that are important. The last one is you must understand that your life is very short. Will someone read Psalm 90, 1 through 6?
I got it.
All right.
Okay. Lord, you have been our dwelling place throughout all generations. Before the mountains were born, or you brought forth the whole world. From everlasting to everlasting you are God. You turn people back to dust, saying, return to dust, you mortals. 1,000 years in your sight are like a day that has just gone by, or like a watch in the night. Yet you sweep people away in the sleep of death. They are like the new grass in the morning. In the morning it springs up new, but by evening it is dry and withered.
People grow up and they grow old and they say, what happened to my life? I know that's like, it's kind of weird. It happens a lot in movies, but when as people get older or they're on the deathbed, they're kind of just like, I realized I wasted my life, and then they tell the main character, don't waste your life, and then the main character goes out and doesn't waste their life and does crazy stuff. Tim, while you're there, will you read Psalm 90, verse 12?
Teach us to number our days, that we may gain a heart of wisdom.
Much like a business counts their inventory each day to make sure that precious items are not lost or wasted, we kind of need to do the same thing and make sure that we ask God to help us count our days so that not one is lost or wasted. Similar to the metaphor that I said, that Steve said about how you have 86,400 seconds in a day, and just pretend like that's your money, and you can only spend that much in one day, then it resets the next day. You don't want to waste a single second of it. God loves you, He made you, and He wants you to live an overcoming life. That's all I got.
Woohoo.
We're going to split up into
Yeah. Does anyone have any
comments, questions?
What? Yeah.
So we did a discussion.
We can talk, but we'll split up in a little bit.
Yeah, it's 7:47, so we close at 8.
Yeah, or early if no one has anything to say. But, yeah, but does anyone have anything they want to share about that? What they think about that? Maybe an example in their life.
I'm in the exact same boat as you are with the college essays.
Yeah.
Kid you not. With both Texas Tech and OSU.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think part of it has to do with especially my essays. My dad is also a lot of those, and the biggest one is he's a perfectionist, and so it takes all of his focus just to edit them, and he won't let me send them until they're edited. And then he wants to completely rearrange the essay, but he tells me one sentence and won't go into detail, and he's change it. So that's had to it's really hard to get through editing it just because of how picky he is, and so that's been the hardest. That's why it's taken so long.
A friend of mine has been helping me with it because he's been going to KD nonstop.
Yeah.
He went to KD and he told his parents that he was going there during the summer and said he was coming over to my house. His parents found out when they went to an informational meeting about how many hours he had. He's going again. So we went to KD for twice what he usually should have.
It's hard for KD.
That should be a privilege, not a punishment.
Well.
Yeah.
I did the
Privilege
same.
is being in my house.
Same thing happened to me with college apps, and I ended up not being able to submit an application
Mm-hmm.
because I took that long. So. What happened that time? Yeah.
One of the things I said about the spending time with your family and friends. Last year, as my senior friends were leaving, I just was asking all of them, what is one thing of advice that you would give me for my senior year? And probably 8 out of 10 times they said spend time with your family, because I spent so much time with friends and it was so fun. But especially now, as I asked them, they miss their family so much, and their friends they didn't see it. They I don't know, they don't miss them as much, but their family, they're just I want to be home right now. I just want to call my mom every day and whatever, talk to my dad and all that kind of stuff. So just make sure that you're spending time in your life with your family, because I think it's a pretty big deal.
Kind of going along with what you said, perfectionist. I am the biggest OCD person ever, and so it's kind of now that I've gotten older, senior year, I kind of don't really care as much about homework, which is bad, but it's like you're also a perfectionist whenever you do actually do it. It's like it takes forever, but then like kind of also going along with like the whole family thing, it's like you also don't want to do your homework so you can spend time with your family, but then it's like you also try to find the balance of like family and friends. It's kind of not working.
Are any of you guys the overdoer? Anyone?
Yeah.
Okay, I plan out my day like, all right, it takes me 4 minutes to get to school, so I don't need to leave till 9:48 if I don't have first period. So I'll get there, I have 2 minutes to get to class, okay, perfect. And then it takes me, or I'll give 30 seconds in case I have a light. And then I'll have, whatever, this much time to get home. Okay, it only takes me 15 minutes to do math homework. Then I have, whatever, this at this time, and then like percussion, and then, okay, FCA, yeah, FCA is only, whatever, 5 minutes from school, so then I can go straight there, and then, like, I plan out my day like, bam, 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 bam. So if one thing like goes too long, it like messes up the rest of the schedule. And so like I cram pack my days with like an unrealistic amount of like things to do, and then I end up not getting it done. And I meant to get it done. I'm not trying to procrastinate, but it just happens like that because, you know what I mean? Like I'll work my college essays that night, and then everything is moved back, and then I don't get to. So that's like, you want to be like active and stuff, but don't like overdo it. Because I overdo it like all the time.
That's the same thing happened to me today. I stayed after to do a little more computer science. I was like, I have time. But then I went to go work out, and I got to the gym, and it was kind of late.
Took 4 hours.
And then one of my friends was there, and then there was this really friendly Mexican dude, and he talked to me for like 15 minutes. And I didn't end up getting to do arms, and I was really sad. So,
You should be doing them right now.
Well, I think it's a good idea to plan your day. I think a better idea is to put important things in between some filler stuff, so that if you get caught up in one thing and you're not able to do one of the less significant things, you can just blow that off and go to the next most important significant thing. But I think the most important thing, and this is for procrastinators, is some people say start with the easy or the most difficult thing first. I don't think you do that. I think you start with the easiest thing first so that you can get yourself some momentum. And then, I like homework, you know, and I know you all probably struggle with this. If in fact you do homework,
It gets done.
you said when we do homework, but if you do homework on a regular basis, don't always start with the most difficult thing, because you get discouraged and you probably end up not getting much done at all. So that would be my suggestion.
That's a good suggestion. So what are you guys going to go home and do tonight? Okay, so like in general, what have you guys been procrastinating?
Watching TV. Not even kidding.
That psychology does.
Besides school.
Already? No, I started trying though. I
I feel like
I started a page.
I feel like I'm normal in the chamber.
I'm a daydreamer though. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah. This has to do with like several different. This like shows how I'm several of like different procrastination or personality styles. By February 1st, okay, so like through Stuco, I'm a senior chairman. We're doing bottle drive for an entire month in February. So I have to get all the paperwork and everything worked out with like the admin and my teachers by February 1st. I have a Stuco. I have to read a book, like an entire book, and I don't read it all, but I have to like actually read it because there's a book report. That's due February like 4th. Then I have Mr. Plano, so like a video to do, and then like the dance practice and all that kind of stuff. That's due February 1st. I have my college essays and resume, which are also due February 1st. I have like all these things that I've been procrastinating, and now I have like 8 days to do them all. And like this week has been like ridiculous, like completely packed. So like for me, it's come down to like
That weekend though.
I overdid it. I definitely made a crisis, and everything is like still left to do because like how like much like a perfectionist I am. Like I didn't want to film some of the things till like the day was perfect, and the day wasn't gonna be perfect for another month. So I waited another month, and then you know what I mean. Like it just kind of all just like piled up, and now I have a week to do it. So
Better get started.
Yeah. Seriously. Yeah.
You can go right now.
Okay.
You gotta go.
Yeah.
Think of how great February 5th is going to be.
Oh my gosh. It's gonna be great.
Or the other families.
Do we want to go ahead and split up into small groups now? I think we could do 2 guys.